Back when the plans were announced in November 2005, there was really a lot of excitement about the projects, including the Bolt-Haas project, the transformation of Bowles Hall, and the Student High Performance Athletic Center and the retrofits to the Memorial Stadium. At the time, there wasn't a lot of controversy about what the projects would entail, more questions about how much it was going to cost and who was going to be offering up that money.
The tree sit started during the big game of 2006, when activists climbed up into the trees around Memorial Stadium to protest the university's plan to cut down those oak trees.
At the time, no one thought a huge amount of it. The protest started picking up national attention when they staged a few stunts, like inviting the three grandmothers up into the trees, and when they staged a nude photo shoot in the grove. When the city of Berkeley joined the California Oak Foundation and the Panoramic Hill Association in their lawsuits against the university, it became quite clear that this was going to be quite a long process. When Judge Barbara J. Miller instated a preliminary injunction preventing the university from commencing work on the site, the plaintiffs all declared victory. University officials, on the other hand, said they were still confident, and Vice Chancellor for Administration Nathan Brostrom called the decision only a temporary setback. Judge Miller set the court date for September. Early morning on August 29th, UC police arrived at the Oak Grove with a work crew, which began erecting a fence surrounding the grove. The chain-link fence was an effort to stop supporters from entering the trees and delivering food and supplies, but it became an important symbol, a rallying cry for the tree sit cause. Efforts to tear down the fence were unsuccessful, and there was no doubt that the fence heightened tensions at the grove. The Daily Cal senior editorial board called the fence a public relations disaster and said it would only fuel the protest, not stop it.
More attention came with the season opener against Tennessee in 2007, where both Cal and Tennessee were ranked within the top 15 in the country. The game got national attention, allowing for the tree sit to receive similar exposure.
On September 4th, 2007, the Berkeley City Council voted to reject the settlement offer submitted to them by the campus. Then City Attorney Manuela Albuquerque said she did not consider the offer to be serious, and a number of City Council members said the proposed settlement largely reiterated previously stated compromises. On October 4th, after debating the proposed development for a number of days in a courtroom, Judge Miller decided to visit Memorial Stadium to decide for herself what the possible impacts of construction might be. UC Berkeley was given another tool to fight the tree sitters in October 2007 when Judge Richard Keller ruled that the sitters were indeed trespassing on campus property. He issued a court order mandating that they leave the grove, enabling the campus to cite sitters and their supporters for violation of a court order when they entered the grove.
In an early November morning, the UC police arrived with a construction crew yet again, this time to erect a second fence around the first. University officials said that they were trying to better control movement into and out of the grove. Around the same time, the university moved in high-powered lights to keep the grove illuminated at all times.
After the fence was erected and topped with barbed wire, it became another important tool that the campus used to exert control over the tree sit and who could enter and exit the area. However, the tree sitters found they could quickly use a telephone on city property to enter and exit the grove.
Miller released her long-awaited 129-page ruling, in which she awarded all but 2 of the points in the case to the university. Amongst the claims she rejected were the petitioner's claims that the athletic center should be considered in addition to the football stadium, and that the university did not perform sufficient testing to guarantee that the center will not itself sit on the Hayward Fault. In her ruling, Miller showed most concern about aspects of the plan she said could be out of compliance with Alquist Priolo, a law that prohibits the construction of new buildings on active fault lines and restricts the renovations of existing buildings that sit on fault lines. After another hearing, Miller ruled on July 22nd to lift the injunction preventing construction, saying the university had in fact brought all aspects of the plan into compliance with environmental quality and earthquake safety laws. But she left the injunction in place for 7 days to give the petitioners time to file an appeal. 2 days later, the petitioners filed an appeal with California's First District Appellate Court. But the appellate court quickly handed the case back to Miller, dismissing the appeal as premature on the grounds that the trial court had yet to resolve several issues.
In late August, only a few days after Miller tied up the procedural loose ends, as the appellate court directed her to do, 2 plaintiffs in the case, the Panoramic Hill Association and the California Oak Foundation, submitted their appeal papers for a second time. On September 4th, a little more than a week after the two petitioners submitted their appeal papers, the First District Appellate Court in San Francisco agreed to hear the appeal, but issued a clear and decisive decision allowing the campus to immediately begin construction. The next day, in fact, the campus began the process of removing 42 of 70 trees at the Grove. As of September 7th, all but 2 of those trees had been cut down. 2 trees remained, one that was still occupied by 4 tree sitters and another that was slated to be transplanted at another location on campus. But on Tuesday, the campus began implementing a plan that was designed to end in the forcible removal of the 4 sitters and allow the campus to remove all trees but the one that was to be transplanted. While campus police were prepared for an extraction, the 4 remaining tree sitters saw an opportunity to leave their tree and give up their cause with some dignity. On condition of coming down, they asked that campus officials promise to communicate more with residents in the future to prevent, they said, a need for future protests. By the end of the day, the sitters' redwood tree had been cut down, and campus officials said they couldn't wait to begin construction on their long-awaited center.